After over 600 minutes of football, Blackburn Rovers finally win a game after they take all the 3 points against Millwall at the Den. We'll talk about that and more next. That's right, folks, back once again with another match review, this time looking back at Blackburn Rovers' first win in a shit ton load of games against Millwall, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, I'm asking you, where the heck have you been, boys? Smash your subscribe and get your bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related to Championship related, whoa, football related. We're going to go here. Ruski, that's right, boys and girls. Blackburn Rovers get themselves back to winning ways at the upteenth time of asking. We'll take a look at that in a minute. Of course, before then, I want a big shout out, of course, to the Patreons. You know who you are. And in fact, you've got a bit of breaking news. That's right, boys and girls. Get a load of this. That's right. Have a look. Feature your eyes on this. We're up to 26 Patreons right here, right now. A big shout out to Michael Collier. Back again, once again, to make himself Patreon number 26. So do appreciate the support. Thank you so much. And if you are interested in joining that band of brothers, including Michael Collier, check out the link down below, patreon.com/Rovers. Over here. You could join for any one of these tiers if you fancy it, or even in between. You can even join in between. It's quite weird. Of course, it does get you access to some content. We're trying to look forward to the future with the Patreon. And of course, next season's going to be massive. And of course, you can be part of that. So check it all out there for your leisure. But anyway, let's get into it. Of course, take a look at the game itself. 2-0 in the end, boys and girls. Of course, no Armstrong. We'll take a look at the lineups in a minute. But it was Bradley Daccarino scoring a good goal. Might have got a little bit lucky with the deflection, but it was all Dack. And he was back to his brilliant best today. Not just with the goal. We had a couple of other opportunities to add to it. But the 1-0, or the opening goal for him to make it 1-0 was Dack at his best. Great control, got a bit of time on it, took the strike, got a bit of a nick off a Millwall man, but it's okay, in the back of the bloody net. So happy with that one, of course, to give themselves the lead. And of course, I think we deserved it, to be fair. And it wasn't until the second half that we made sure of the points with, of course, Sam Gallagher chesting, longing it home with his big old long, of course, after great work from Tyrese and Harvey Elliott, the youngsters combining. So what we want from them, really, because we missed this sort of pizzazz, missed this spark. For me, it's a chance to reset the blocks, reset the clocks, and of course we'll go again Tuesday against high-flying, never say die, Swansea City. But yeah, the tail of the tape here, we'll take a look at the stats in a minute, of course. In fact, let's get into them right here, right now. Here we bloody well go. Of course, here it is in all your eyes. You can see the teams in a little bit. I'll break them down in just a second. But of course, as for the possession, it was actually going in favour of Millwall with 50.5% of possession going in favour of the host, 49.95 or 49.5% for Rovers. So we didn't have all the ball this time. Millwall chased the game a little bit, but unfortunately for us, it worked out a treat. We had a 68% pass success rate today. Not the best performance in that regard either, but guess what? It doesn't mean if the stats are a bit shitty, we played shitty. The stats are a bit iffy, but we played probably our best performance since November. I'm putting it way out there. I've not seen a performance like this in a long time against a decent opposition. They're not the Brentfords, they're not the Norwich, they're not the Swanseas, but they are awkward opposition. I put these guys in amongst the likes of the Readings, in amongst the likes of the Bournemouths, in amongst the likes of the Stokes. These kind of teams, you can either be on the right side or the wrong side of a defeat. Today we were on the right side, and thankfully so, because I think this was the last chance saloon. We've been given Mowbray, and the belief, the mentality was over the past few games, the win will come, but it was getting far-fetched. After this match here, it's a shitload of bad games coming at you, which, to me, honestly, I did a video, which was a Mowbray in video, telling me why I'm all in, and we need the points per game to be 1.84 for the next 13 games or so. This has kicked us off with a Bobby Dazzler. The next three, I've said that we probably won't get anything out of it, if we're completely honest with you, but they are definitely achievable. We can get points out of these again, because they've been played at Ewart Park. It's going to be tough, it's going to be hard, and we'll look forward to those in their own individual match previews. But today we had to win this one if we were going to not only survive in the division, get ourselves out of that discussion and drive us forward and maybe finish in mid-table, which is where we want to be. And then hopefully, with Mowbray still in charge, the belief will be there. He's already got his master plan for next season. Pickering's coming in at left back. He is the future at left back, and hopefully it's going to be a re-looked back four for Rovers next season, and a re-looked new team as well. So we can look forward to that, hopefully, with Mowbray at the helm. Because he is a lovable guy, and it is... I think the right thing to do. He got us out of shit. You know, he's at home here. He's got a good system going on. He goes home whenever, a couple of days a week, whatever. It works to a point. It was just frustrating. The injuries, everything else was mounting on it, and I think we were 90 minutes away here today from Mowbray walking out the door. That's the only way this situation, or this whatever you want, the status quo would have been fluxed a little bit, is if Mowbray said, that's it, I'm done and I'm leaving. I think a defeat today would have caused that. But fortunately, Rovers, Mowbray, everybody, we could all sing on the same hymn sheet. Mowbray stays, goes against these next three ones. If we can get any points out of it, guess what? You know, it just reaffirms the belief. Anyway, let's take a look at, of course, the starting lineups. Here we go with, of course, Millwall. Bielkowski between sticks. Unfortunately, on the wrong side of the defeat here. Like the guy, I think he could be an outside pick for the World Cup for Poland. You know, they've got some really good keepers, Szczesny and some other guys up there. I think he's in the mix, of course. Cooper, Hutchison and Evans, a core back three there, strong as usual, and they're a little bit hard done by as well to not keep a clean sheet as well. Malone on the left, Romeo on the right, Mitchell Woods in midfield, strong midfield as well. Bennett, Wallace, unlucky for them today, and of course Budfarton as well. Wallace with, of course, their ball specialist. Bufferson had a good effort, of course, as well to put the shot in the danger zone, but unfortunately no. Oh my goodness gracious, it's Tyrese. Of course, Kamisi between sticks, Douglas at left back, Lennon, Harbour, Bellis and Rankin Costello back four. A lot of question marks, or maybe eyebrows were raised with Rankin Costello at right back, but guess what? Maybe the element of doubt, or the seeds of doubt, are in there for right back, and of course Rankin Costello signed a new deal not too long ago. Nyambe needs to do the same or go. You know, and I'm not going to be. I love Nyambe, and I think it'll be sad if he does go, which it looks like he probably will go if things aren't going to get addressed. But if not, if he's not going to play, if we know the intention of the players that are, you know, they're not going to be here, then guess what? Then don't play them. Don't bloody play them. Don't give them the minutes unless there's some way to reassure them. Hey, you know what? If you play some more minutes, let's get a new contract. But if not, then play Rankin Costello. We need to play the boys, and the same can be said for Rothwells. The same can be said for, you know, I wanted Bradley Johnson to stay, to be fair, and he was a little bit hard done by not to start. He did get a cameo from the bench, which is good, but the midfield did good. Buckley, Dack, attacking sort of mentality there, tribal in midfield. Then you got Gallagher, Brereton, and Tyrese, of course, who was key to a lot of stuff today. And I did give him a little bit of a bashing through the watch along while we were there. Of course, I had some internet snafus, which kind of limited the watch along towards the end. Hopefully they'll be gone for Tuesday when we take on Swansea, and it's a must-win game there again. But Tyrese, he is a little bit lightweight. He is, I think, a 70% player at the moment. He needs to up his strength, up his stamina, up his passing. But I think he's at the right club to do that. And of course, I'm happy he's here. And yeah, he causes all kinds of problems. And today he was the bane of the existence for Millwall. Let's take a look at my match ratings there for these guys. Kaminsky was pretty much bored, I think. Even though they did pepper us a little bit and he was on his toes a little bit. But yeah, I'm going to give him a 6. He wasn't stretched, to be fair. Douglas at 7, one of his better games again today. Not phenomenal, but of course, good enough for me. Of course, Lenham was an 8. I thought he was stellar. As was Hardwood Bellis. He might be a little bit hard done by with a 7. And Rankin Costello also with a 7. Again, a little bit hard done by, but I can't give you all 8s. Meanwhile, Buckley was a 7. He had a couple of little weak moments, but he was there, clinical in a couple of the attacking bits of play as well. He gets a little bit of hard flack from some of the Rovers fan base, but for me, I think he's the future. He signed a new deal. The guys that signed a new deal, they're there. They've got the mentality, they've got the belief that they're going to stick around as well. Tribal, of course, was strong, and of course, a lot of the defensive duties were pinned on his shoulders. No Travis today, no Johnson, no Evans. Those two guys did have a cameo towards the back end, but it was Tribal pulling the strings and holding the woodwork together as the creative side of Rovers got to go. And Dack with a 7, a little bit, it was good goal. Can't complain about that. Happy to see him score as well. Happy to see that big old smile on his face, and hopefully that's just the start of a little bit of a goal run for himself. Of course, Gallagher up top. He got himself an 8. Goal as well. Great for him. Fantastic. Bruised long the past couple of weeks out of action, but he's back and he scored a goal, and that will do him the world of good. Of course, it was not the greatest goal in the world, but hey, it doesn't matter. They all count. They all bloody count. Tyrese with an 8. I thought he was stellar today. bag of bones, bag of energy, cause all kinds of problems. But will he have the same sort of freedom against Swansea? That's the question that Mowbray has to think about. Of course, Brereton with a 7 as well. Bit of a handful as well. Unfortunate not to get on the score sheet himself as well. Needs to be a bit more selfish in my eyes. And same could be said for Gallagher. If not, they could have had a couple of goals apiece themselves today. But anyway, a good sort of performance there. Of course, here's the shot map here where all the shots took place. We were the blue. They were, of course, the orange. A couple of long-range screamers there from Millwall. Rovers peppered them from outside the D, and of course some scrappy do areas as well. We had 601 touches to their 606. They had more passes, and we had more passes, 419 to their 410. They had better success with the aerial duels, 39 to our 30. More shots for us on them. We had 13 shots, 5 on target, which is a good sort of return in my eyes. They had 11 shots, just 2 on target. They did hit the woodwork though, and a lot of the shots were blocked. We did see the likes of Nyambi, Rothwell, Elliott, Johnson and Evans coming off the bench, kind of the defensive-ish substitutes. This is the heat map. As you can see, Rovers usually they have a shit ton load of green on there, but of course it's sporadic here a little bit, which goes against the norm. Against the norm, maybe we don't have to be all guns blazing, all the gear, no idea. Maybe a little less of the ball is probably the right ticket to ride for Rovers. But anyway, that's what I think about the game at the moment. What about the gaffer? I'm sure he must be as happy to pick his mock right now. Tony, what are you thinking?
Well, I think we had to come here. It's always a difficult place to come because they ask physical questions of you, really. And we didn't gamble, but we picked a pretty technical team, a pretty technical midfield, thinking we needed to try and keep the ball off them rather than go to war with them. And ultimately it paid off. I thought young Buckley did exceptionally well. Tribal showed class really today. I think played Dack in the midfield zone as an 8, playing pretty high, and the balance of the team looked all right. Thought you'd have to mention Tyrese was like a whirlwind out there for us, really closing their back 3 down really, yeah. I thought the balance of the team was good. I thought they defended really well. We didn't ask the fullbacks to play as high today. We played the attackers wider. And it seemed to work pretty well for the team. Really, I did it on the back of the last games. Really, I think we could have picked Travis and Evans, and yet Evans had played 3 games in a week. Travis is still coming back from injury, and he's looking a little bit leggy still to me. And I didn't want to go into a game where we were going to look a yard short, really. And I thought the best way to play was to, and it was a gamble because I know I could be standing here now and you saying to me, John Buckley against Millwall, really? Bradley Dack in midfield, and yet I think we're trying to be a possession-based team. We're trying to play through teams' lines. We're trying to ask questions of teams positionally, and I feel as if I don't want to fail. I'm not going to fail, hopefully, but I want to do it the way we want to do it, and we want to be a football team. And yes, you have to have a tinker with things, and we tinkered today a little bit. We didn't push our fullbacks very high. We kept them in quite narrow and stopped transition with our fullbacks and played our wingers, they're not wingers, and that's been my dilemma. We haven't got wingers really, so Gallagher and Brereton as wingers, they did a good job because they held their position and they threatened the space in behind, and they both threatened the goal today. So and we played the 2 8s higher around the box, which was Dack and Buckley. Left Tribal to try and dominate and dictate the game, and it worked to an extent, and we were pleased with the performance and pleased with the result. A bit of fortune, I think. Dack's goal looked to me, I have watched it back, it looked as if the goalie's dive into his left, and whether it takes a nick because it goes in the middle of the goal, but just the way he manufactured that yard around the edge of the box was fantastic, and a great goal for him. He's really upset that he didn't get a second just before he got brought off. It was a penalty. I've watched it back, and Ryan Woods clips his heels, is about to put it in the empty net really, and it makes him sclaff it past the post. But Dacky was great in that position, playing as an 8 around the box. Worked really hard, I've told him he has to get his fitness where it needs to be. He has to work, and I like Dack in midfield because it makes him work and run back and tackle and get wrapped up in the game and make it personal, and his talent then just shines. Yeah, I could go through them all. I thought they all did well. The pleasing thing for me is that nobody's throwing in the towel because of our recent results. Nobody's looking down and upset and disinterested, and everybody is fighting and working hard, and I think that's important for the supporters, for the team, for the club really. We're all disappointed that we've lost too many games in February, and we've drifted out of the playoff picture. We understand that, but I do believe if we have a consistency of the players coming back now. You know, Rankin Costello was back today and helped. Ryan could have a sit on the bench for a day, and Bradley Johnson got some game time. They're starting to come back, and once the team has real competition, I think this is a good team in this league. I think we can compete at the top end of it. And I thought the other end of the pitch, a clean sheet was massive, because, you know, to go 7 games or something without a clean sheet was frustrating, and yet we'd been pretty good defensively, really. We lost 3 of them 1-0 off, you know, with some soft individual goals, but generally the defence has been pretty good. And I think epitomised by Taylor today, how he celebrated like he'd scored a goal when he blocked in the 6-yard box. I think Lenihan was a true leader today, and I think Barry, I like Barry's composure and leadership qualities from left back. I think good. Rankin Costello played a brilliant pass for Dack for his goal from right back. I feel as if I'm going through the team. You know, the goalie does what he does. The goalie is a top goalie, and we have to we have to get to where we want to go pretty quickly, because I think the Premier League will have eyes on our goalkeeper, and we need to keep growing the club and growing the team and starting to threaten the top of the league, particularly against the 2 that they ended up having on the pitch. Matt Smith is a monster of a boy, you know. He is not just big, he is just the bulk of him, really. He can move your body with just as he steps backwards, he can shift you out the way, and I thought we competed really, really well. But Vadson is a more wiry character that we could come over the top at times. I'm talking about playing loose, don't fight big centre forwards who want to use their body. Be clever and come over the top, and thought we defended really well today. I don't really remember too many chances. They had a little 2 or 3 minute spell, you know, after we'd got the second goal, but we saw it off pretty comfortably, and I felt we maybe could have scored a third on the break. Listen, it's a really frustrated dressing room, I would have to say. You know, we've got some lads in there who, as I keep drilling, we're trying to get to the Premier League, and we're trying to get to the top 6, and we've obviously fallen away pretty badly in a month of a season that we all feel the hurt. We all are really disappointed, and as I said there, the good thing is that they're still fighting. They still want to play for the badge on the shirt, and they care, and that's what really, for me, makes it worth it. Really, you know, we've had a bad month. Let's be honest. The place is difficult. Nobody's walking around our building at the training ground happy and bouncing and laughing. Everybody's a bit down. But when it comes to match day, you have to get your match face on and go to war if that's what you have to do, or find the class and the quality to play the football that we want to play. And what's the most pleasing aspect is they've managed to do that and not get too disappointed, too down, too deflated, which can be a real problem on confidence of a football team.
Meanwhile, what's been going on social media? We'll take a little look then, shall we? Of course, Lewis Hartley, of course, he loves to ping me on these and make sure he gets his comment read. Jokes aside, that was a great team performance, and everyone in the squad impressed me today. Man of the match, Dolan, for me, worked hard, ran after everything. That's what we need. We need more of the passion there, and he showed what it's all about. So kudos to Dolan. He might be paper thin and paper thin, but he does run for everything, and we need more of that. But worked hard, ran after everything. But we're very impressed with the side today. Looking at the lineup, I wasn't sure about it, to be honest. Hopefully a kick on upwards indeed. Let's go down here with Carl Wicks. Class performance throughout the squad. Buckley and Gallagher got so much stick from Rovers fans, but both were excellent today. Dolan showed enough in today's game to earn a place over Armstrong. Yes, indeed. You can't question players not playing for Mowbray, so happy for them and the team indeed. Adam Lodge said this fantastic performance. Everyone played their part. How the ref missed that pen, I'll never know. Brilliant to win though. Come on, you Blues. Ban! Or Bano said, great credit where credit's due to a man. To whatever. We were brilliant. Let's hope we can carry on next couple of games and pick up some results indeed. And they're free hits. They are free bloody hits. Adam Hilling said this, credit where credit's due. That was a excellent team performance, and it feels excellent to say, great to say we deserve to win. Dolan, Gallagher, Tribal, all class. We look so much better, balanced with Armstrong not there and Dack back in his most influential role. Meanwhile, Jordan Kingsley said this, miles better performance. I mean it. It means to be expected after the playoffs are out of reach, as it happens every year, but good win. The Houghton said this, could probably give 3 or 4 man of the matches today. Lennon and Gallagher both brilliant. Tribal looked good too, but Dolan Nolan was outstanding today. He has got to start more. Meanwhile, Phil Thomas said this. And finally, good when everything goes right for once. About time. Bigger picture is still the same, though. Mr. Nobody posted this little banger. When Rovers were founded. Dack on the 18th and Gallagher on the 75. I thought that was absolutely a cracking tweet there. Meanwhile, Stoic Brian said this. Forgot what it felt like. A huge win, though. Well in, boys. Michael Fratson said, almost forgot how a win felt like. It's different, but I like it. Mark Fetterman said this. Superb team performance. Well done, everybody. Back four looks stronger with JRC and Bellis in it. Again, I'll back that point up as good. Tribal was on another level today, the best I've seen him play. Everyone played their part, and a clean sheet as well. Thomas Evans said this had to be done. It's been 84 years since we were in, of course. Fred Cupsey said this. Rejoice, Roverites, come out from behind the sofa, raise your glasses and your spirits. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. And Hayden Carter on the score sheet as well for Burton as they kicked ass and took some names, and they've rebooted. And of course, Beth there. Of course, the Tyree Stoner Masterclass is back in full force. There it is. Indeedio, it is. Absolutely fan-dabby-dozy. And Rovers can move the bloody chains, of course. What about elsewhere out the championship? Let's take a little look there, shall we? Of course, the games elsewhere. They kept an eye on. Of course, I did watch a bit of the game yesterday. Huddersfield at Cardiff was a shit show, wasn't it? Watford came out top with a 1-0 win over Forest. Barnsley, again, keep moving the chains with a 1-0 win over Birmingham, put them in trouble, of course. Preston stopped Bournemouth, who are, I think Bournemouth are, they're not for me, you know what I mean? I think they're I never believed in them. Like with Eddie Howe, yes, I believed in them. I thought they were a little bit hard done by to get relegated. But since they got relegated, they haven't got the right mindset. And I think they could be in trouble if they don't sort their shit out. They still have a chance to get themselves promoted via the playoffs. But if they don't get promoted here, it depends on what comes on in the summer. But they could be in a bit of bother. They don't have the amazing fan base. And when the fans are allowed back in, they could struggle to make ends meet, especially, the longer they're in this division, and the wages that they're spending on some of these crazy players. It's nervy times. Anyway, of course, the result of the day was at the Den, of course, 2-0 win. QPR 2-0 win over Bristol City. The new manager bounce has gone for Bristol City, and QPR keep on keeping on. Stoke beat Wickham, of course, to move closer to the top 6 as well. Wickham moving closer to League 1. Coventry with a 1-0 win over Wayne Rooney FC, and of course Norwich 3-0 winners over Luton. They're right on the corner for us, as are Swansea. 2-1 winners late, incredibly late, couple of goals there. Middlesbrough thought they'd snatched a point. Swansea, though, smashed the win with a even later goal. And Reading embarrassed Sheffield Wednesday, who are on the cusp themselves. This is the table as it stands. Norwich lead the charge. Of course, 10 points clear over Watford, who are 1 point clear over Swansea, who are 2 points clear over Brentford. Swansea have 2 games in hand on the chasing back win, both of those, and guess what? They're right back in the top 2. Reading and Barnsley make up your top 6. I'm all Barnsley for the playoffs at the moment. I'm all bloody Barnsley. We've played them twice now. Forget about it. We've got to take on Bournemouth, and I think we can piss on Bournemouth as well. I think we could take them on. I know I've suddenly got this momentum on my shoulders. Of course, Wickham look toast at the moment. 24th, Sheffield Wednesday 23rd. Rotherham have 2 games in hand. They've got 3 games in hand over the likes of Coventry and Birmingham and even Derby as well. So I'm all Rotherham. I want Rotherham to go up, to stay up. Birmingham, I'd love to see Derby go down. I would love to see it. Forest look a little bit more safe, and I think Forest could be a team to watch next season. With Houghton in charge. Rovers up to 15th, or remaining 15th, but a win in our game in hand midweek against Swansea. We could rise to 11th in the table, boys. That's right, and let's not get ahead of ourselves. Just focus about Swansea. All Swansea are we? And okay, there's only 3 games this midweek. QPR take on Wickham on Tuesday. The clocks go forward or back over here in the USA, so we're getting a little bit closer to you. And we have a game on Tuesday at 1 o'clock my time. It'll be 7 o'clock your time, something like that. And then Barnsley take a Derby, must win. Barnsley, keep the win. That's on Wednesday, and again there'll be a whole host of games next weekend. I think we take on Brentford on Friday in front of the cameras, and again win against Swansea. Then you know what, Brentford are up for grabs. That's all I've got for you today. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the old thumbs up, and if you're new, smash your subscribe to get you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers. Later, championship. We gotta do here, boys. Under Warruski. That's right. Check out the links down below on Twitter, on Facebook, and I'm on Patreon, just like Michael Collier. A big thank you to him once again, becoming the 26th member of the old Patreon gang. We're trying to get up to 50. It's a long way, a big old goal, but we're moving one step closer right here right now. So I appreciate the support on Patreon. So check that out if you're interested and you have the channel. We'll be absolutely tickety-boo. Until then, though, see you all very, very soon. Of course, probably tomorrow I'll get the match preview out for Swansea. But until then, though, be safe out there. Have a good weekend, of course. Keep smiling and keep on believing. Mowbray, thanks for that. I needed that. Big win. Thanks to Rovers as well. Till then, I'll see you all soon. Ciao for now.